Hey there, Ehrica here, and I have a question for you. Was your baby born early? Are you wondering, should they be rolling yet? Should they be smiling? Why does my preemie seem to be behind other babies their age? Well, today I'll show you exactly how to track your preemie's milestones using their adjusted age in just 3 simple steps so you know what to expect and when. Well, hey there. If we haven't met yet, I'm Ehrica, a pediatric developmental therapist. And inside the Milestone Mom Academy, I actually teach moms how to test their baby or toddler's development step by step so they can feel confident about what's normal and when to seek support. So in this video, I'm going to give you the roadmap to understanding adjusted age in 3 easy steps. So first, we're going to talk about what adjusted age actually means. Second, I'm going to show you how to calculate it correctly. And third, we will talk about how long we actually adjust for prematurity when tracking your baby or toddler's milestones. And by the end of this video, you will feel so much more confident about your preemie's development. So the very first step in this is actually understanding what adjusted age means. Now, adjusted age, also called corrected age, is a way to measure your baby or toddler's development based on their due date, not their actual birthday. And that's really important because premature babies come into the world before they've actually finished all of their growth and development in the womb. So if we are comparing them to a full-term baby, the same age on the calendar, it could sometimes look like they were behind, even when they're actually right on track for their adjusted age. So let me give you an example. Imagine 2 babies. Baby A was born on their due date. Baby B was born 8 weeks early. Both are 4 months old on the calendar. Baby A might be smiling, rolling, or maybe even reaching out for toys. Now, baby B might still be working on tummy time and just starting to smile. Now, if we only looked at the calendar age, you might worry something was wrong. But if you adjust baby B's age back to their adjusted age of 2 months, suddenly their development makes perfect sense. So that's why the standardized test that I personally use in my practice and the one that I use to train moms on inside the academy always goes by adjusted age when we test our little ones. It actually levels the playing field if you think about it and gives us a much more accurate picture of how your little one is truly developing. So step number 2 is, how do we calculate this? And the good news is it's actually really simple. But before I go any further, I do want to mention that we don't start adjusting for prematurity unless your baby was born at 36 weeks. So if your baby was 2 or 3 weeks early, we aren't adjusting for prematurity. So 40 weeks minus 36 weeks equals 4 weeks, which is 1 month. And that's when we start adjusting for prematurity. So here's the formula. I kind of just gave it away. So if we start with your baby's chronological age, which is the age since the day they were born, then subtract the number of weeks they were born early, you will get their adjusted age. So let's break this down just a little bit further. So let's say your baby is 6 months old. If they were born 8 weeks early, that's 2 months, right? That's 8 weeks equals 2 months. So your baby's adjusted age is actually 4 months because they were born at 6 months, subtract 2, and you get 4 months. Now, when you check the milestone charts, whether it's rolling, sitting, reaching, babbling, you use their adjusted age. You don't compare them to a 6-month-old full-term baby because developmentally, your preemie is closer to 4 months. And as I mentioned before, this is the same method I use on my standardized test. It's important for me to figure out before even going into a family's home for an evaluation. And again, it's the same method I used to train moms to use inside the Milestone Mom Academy. So when you test your child at home, you'll be able to plug in their adjusted age and immediately understand whether their development is on track. And if it's not, you'll be able to see where they may need some extra support. If you are interested in the Academy, I have a link in the description below. Now, the most important takeaway here, and I cannot stress this enough, is don't panic if your preemie isn't doing what the baby across the street is doing at the same calendar age. Adjusted age keeps your expectations realistic and prevents unnecessary worry. Okay, and then step number 3 that I want to talk about is, how long do we actually adjust for prematurity? So for little ones who were born early, we stop adjusting for prematurity at 24 months because by that age, most children have caught up to their full-term peers in all the different major developmental areas. And there's 5 of them that I go over on my test. It's cognitive, personal, social, adaptive, communication, and motor. So that means after age 2, after 24 months, we stop using the adjusted age and go back to their calendar age. So if your baby was born 2 months early and you've always adjusted for those 2 months, we will no longer be doing that. When your child hits 24 months, we will test them at 24 months. But here's the part that parents sometimes miss or forget. I want you to remember, Not every child catches up at the same pace. Actually, some preemies that I have seen, actually a lot of preemies that I've seen, close the gap rather quickly, even before their first birthday or before that. Or maybe they've never even showed a delay. Typically for those little ones, we will come in, do a reassessment to monitor progress as they organically grow and hit those specific milestones. Others, we start ongoing services right away. Others may need quite a bit of time to grow and develop, especially if they were born early or had a medical complication. The key here to remember is steady progress. Are they gaining skills from month to month? Are they moving forward in motor skills, communication, social interactions, and problem solving? That's the true measure of healthy development. And again, that's why testing is so valuable. So in short, use adjusted age until 24 months. Expect your preemie to catch up at their own pace and focus on progress, not perfection. This perspective brings peace of mind and a much more accurate understanding of your little one's growth. Now, please remember, if you do have concerns and your child is between the age of birth and 36 months, I have a link in the description below for the early intervention program in your state. My guess is if your baby was a preemie, a lot of times the hospital will actually make the referral to us. So you may already be seeing early intervention. But that link is definitely in the description below if you are interested. All right there, friend. Now that you know how adjusted age works, the next step is understanding what developmental red flags to watch for in your baby. I've actually made a video that walks you through the most important ones step by step. And you can watch that here, or you can watch this series right over here. And as always, I appreciate you, and I will see you in one of the next videos. All right, bye-bye.